All right, welcome on, everyone. We will be getting started here in a moment once all of the lasers and the robots are complete. So just bear with us. Save our voices to the actual game. All right, everyone, let's get to work here. And this is, to me, my most anticipated game, or maybe number two to Houston and Charlotte.
That ended up being a pretty fun game.
Couple of days. Yeah, and sadly, we're not going to see Isaiah Hartenstein, and we're basically not going to see any Oklahoma City big other than Chet Holmgren. That's probably the biggest thing to look out for. And the Thunder are going to start Isaiah Joe, not Alex Caruso, which is something that I anticipated would probably be the case. My guess would be they're actually going to start with Lou Dort on Jokic. That's what I would go for, and they'll try to keep Holmgren off the ball on Aaron Gordon. Big keys for you early on here?
I want to see what Christian Brown looks like in the starting lineup. The Thunder are a team where we can evaluate that. Who do they put Brown on? How does he fare?
And Jamal Murray, just how does he look physically now that the lights are on fully? This is a team that has maybe the best perimeter defensive talent in the league. Can Jamal Murray actually create separation for his shots? That's something he has really struggled to do in recent vintage. That got probably two of your top MVP candidates this year. And what is this Thunder offense? Isaiah Joe. They'll probably stash him on Christian Brown, I would guess. Maybe they put him on put Jacobs back in that kind of backline.
Nate, you're a little choppy for me. I think that usually happens in the first minute or two of this.
Yeah, you know, my audio is not good, guys. Fix it. And Holmgren wins the tap. No, they're going to jump in here with Gilgeous Alexander and Murray. It's the two ostensibly best players on the Canadian Olympic team. One of them had a great effect, one less so. Hold on. Back in.
And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins the Maple Leaf battle there. And Jalen Williams, J-Dub, is going to start with the ball. Jay Will is actually out with a hamstring issue. And you can see that was Chet Holmgren trying to create on Nikola Jokic one-on-one. Didn't end up working out. Christian Brown bringing the ball up the floor. And I think that was J-Dub knocking down Aaron Gordon in transition. I'd like to see the contact there. It was so far away from the play, whether that was a sell job or was an actual hit.
Yeah, that maybe was a foul by Jokic. How am I sounding now? Better?
Much better.
Good. Yeah, just had to restart. Here's Gordon wearing number 32 to honor his brother who tragically died in a car accident, and the Denver fans very happy as Jokic. That was another thing as well. We didn't see Jokic shoot the ball particularly well from three in the Olympics. As wow, Gilgeous Alexander blew by Murray like he wasn't there, but good help from Porter Jr. was able to force the miss. Now Murray attacking Brown. Porter Jr. nicely closed down by Williams. Murray moving off the ball. Brown not going to shoot it there. Instead, it's Jokic. Great help there by Dort as Jokic had an easy angle inside on Holmgren. Back to Dort. He'll fire it. He's not close on that three. That, of course, another thing I'm very focused in on is Lou Dort going to be the same shooter he was a year ago when he took a big step forward. Here's Porter Jr. firing, and that's not close.
Well, and then that kind of dovetails in with one of the things that affected OKC in the playoffs in that series against Dallas was Chet Holmgren and Lou Dort not being as dynamic of offensive threats. Is that more of a late season problem? Is that more of a regular season problem? Or is that a regular season problem, or have they resolved it?
Oh, nice little pass there by Williams. And once more, we're seeing the Thunder. This was a big thing in the series against Dallas, hiding out a guard along the baseline there. That can help when a team doesn't have a great rim protector because you leave a guard as the low man. They're not as worried about Jokic as they were Lively being able to hang out around the basket. Now Holmgren. Williams fires immediately, and Jalen Williams, another guy who really improved his three-point stroke a year ago, well over 40%. I believe in his continuing that maybe more than Dort, though. He has been fantastic from the outside.
And I'm going to be looking at Jalen Williams' volume too. Success is important, but is he getting up more shots? Is he maybe even getting up more difficult ones?
Oh, and Murray slamming in to Williams. I would say Murray has actually looked pretty quick here early on. Nice hard cut. And
Nate, that's J Dub's second foul because he got that one on Gordon early.
Yeah, presumably, and maybe they consider a challenge here, but I think he's jumping forward just a little bit. But now they can go to Alex Caruso. But this is the biggest weakness, in my opinion, for this loaded OKC team outside of when they have their other three centers injured. And that is having a third ball handler. They just don't really have a third creator. And we'll see whether Mark Daigneault is going to stick with Williams, at least for a little bit. We may just have to see, Dylan Jones or an AJ Mitchell even get in, but Williams is going to stay in for now. Gordon has the matchup on him. Jokic trying to harry him. Now they move it. Holmgren attacking off. Oh, he's wide open. Nice play by Christian Braun, though, coming off at Gilgeous-Alexander to make the stop. Porter Jr. in the corner. Murray, nice pass there. Braun lays it in. He is a force in transition, and Denver looking very solid here early.
Two good decisions there from MPJ to kick it out and then Jamal Murray to kick it back in.
Holmgren, not the fastest release in the world. Doesn't look much improved from last year. Now Jokic has deep position. They have to double team here. Jokic is going to go right through him. There it is. They move it. Bad pass to the feet of Braun. Now Murray in the corner. And he's been active. Nice little peel switch by the Thunder. Murray, not really an advantage matchup on J-Dub. Goes to the fadeaway. And Gordon got pushed in the back by Lou Dort. Will stay right here.
Yeah, like you, I think one of the early takeaways for me is that Jamal Murray he's moving better than I expected. I'm not saying he's like all the way back, but considering the Olympic stuff, I was a little bit spooked.
Yeah, Shea has really only had one attack so far. And Holmgren, again, I mean, this is just, they have to double team every single time. And see, this is what I don't like about the strategy. I mean, they got a long way to go in this game, this season, maybe even these playoffs. They want to just see what it looks like with Chet on Jokic. But if you're going to double team anyway, why would you put your best defender on Jokic? Just put a smaller guy on there and keep someone close to the rim. Shea finding Joe. That's a deep three, but oh, what a closeout by Braun. And now he's off to the races. Instead, it's Gordon twisting over the shoulder for the layup. There's J-Dub. Can't find Holmgren underneath. And then his pass, I think, may have been deflected. Murray again, right past Gilgeous-Alexander. And we'll see if Mark Daigneault is going to take time here. He's not interested right now. They are getting pick sixes on every possession.
Nate, that's 3 Thunder turnovers and 7 points off of those turnovers. So 7 of the 11.
Holmgren pick and pop. Rotation Porter Jr. Nice pass underneath. Dort. Oh, he tripped and somehow threw it up and scored.
And that foul is on Jokic. He can sometimes commit in weird bursts. He doesn't always do that, but will, of course, with his importance to the Denver Nuggets, keep an eye on it.
He's largely gotten past that in the last 2-3 years, I would say. Certainly since 2022.
Well, especially he's done a much better job on the frustration fouls. His
Yeah.
now teammate Russell Westbrook has not improved on that front.
Yeah, no subs yet for the Nuggets, and Nuggets have really I mean, when they just have to double team Jokic every time in the post, like they're just going to get a good shot. Here's Murray wide open, and he drains it. Again, just bouncing quickly into that jump shot. Really liking what I'm seeing early here from Murray. Now Holmgren off that transition screen. That's a play. Actually, that's LeBron and JJ Redick talked about that on their podcasts. And now Jokic again, deep seal. That was a bad pass, though. They had a whole corner of the backboard to lob it to, and it got deflected. That was just a bad pass. Here's Shea stepping back in transition. He missed. OKC hasn't gotten anything on their running game yet.
And the Thunder are 1 of 6 from 3 already.
They have to double again. Brown. Oh, that's a beautiful finish. Christian Brown has been very solid so far. And if they have to double team Jokic like this, I mean, they're just not going to stop Denver. They just can't. Gilgeous-Alexander got to his spot against Brown and finally cracks the scoring column. Yeah, I'm interested to see if they give Gordon more ball handling responsibilities this year, because one problem they had was working against Minnesota's pressures. That looked like an and one to me, with Jokic again just going right through Holmgren, and mercifully Daigneault will stop it with the timeout, but Denver looking absolutely unstoppable here early.
And so for me, the biggest thing that I'm going to be evaluating in the next segment of the game is, did Mark Daigneault see anything here that inspires a change? That could be, hey, I saw what you guys are seeing, but I still want to keep it going because we're in an evaluation phase. Or do they go to something different? And as you mentioned, it's an old tenet, but it's like there are two of these like that I think are obvious that don't always happen right. If you're doubling, put a worse defender. If you're auto doubling, put a worse defender as the primary. The other one like that is if you're doing hacka, then put better offensive players in the floor. It's like if you're doing an entire strategy built around negating, like changing this one facet, then you have to change your approach.
Yeah, I think so. And again, this is just a long season. Mark Daigneault, I don't think is going to just debut the best strategy right away. I think they want to just get Chet Holmgren some experience in this matchup. Like, you'll have to guard him some, but he just has no chance. Jokic is he's a monster. Also, I wanted to invite y'all to ask us some questions in this forum, and I think we'll try to get to them maybe on the podcast later tonight rather than right now, especially if they're a little bit more complex. But if you have a question for tonight's show, that would be great. I mean, we'll talk about this game, obviously, some of Dallas, San Antonio, but we can fill in some of the extra time with some questions.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Wizards Celtics?
I mean,
I watched a quarter of it. I had thoughts, a few. Let's see. So one of the questions that we have in thread, I think we can do this one relatively. This is from YouTube, from Daniel. Is Denver the worst matchup for OKC in the West? And
no, let's save it. Let's save it.
You want to save it?
Let's go on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can be in charge of questions.
I mean, I guess we need something to talk about now too, though.
Yeah, we can always talk about
it. Did you watch any of that Wizards and
I did
Celtics game?
I watched the first quarter because I was home and free, and I think that, oh no, Bub Carrington might have a knee injury. Oh, that's not great. So I thought that I mean, one thing of note, I was watching a fair portion of it on the Wizards broadcast, is that the Wizards average age in their starting five tonight was 22 years, 7 months, which is preposterous. And they, at times they looked it, but I honestly thought that the player of their starting five who was the least under control was not the young guys. It was Danny Leroux punching bag from last year, Kyle Kuzma. He just had some screw it, I'm going to throw up some heaves, that kind of stuff. Had a couple of bad passes. I'm not saying he was terrible, but he had more of the reckless play than the young guys did because I think they might have been a little scared.
Yeah, I'll have to go look for that Carrington injury. I mean, we didn't get the avalanche of tweets about it from national reporters, so hopefully it's nothing too bad, but maybe they weren't paying attention. Cason Wallace just came in and misses his first three. Another guy who could be a regression candidate from three, as Dort, another Canadian Olympic teammate of Jamal Murray, picks up the foul. Again, I continue to like the verve of Jamal Murray here.
And Cason Wallace is in a tricky spot because they added a superior player with a very similar role in Alex Caruso. There's space for both of them within the Thunder rotation, but it presents a harder path for him to get playing time.
Gordon at the elbow, Porter Jr. into Holmgren, and he is devoured by Chet Holmgren, and then lands on the end line trying to recover it. That's what Chet Holmgren can do as an off-ball guy, and really good work by him. And here's Russell Westbrook getting a hand. Perhaps the scene of Russell Westbrook's greatest career moment when he sealed up the 2017 MVP, set the triple-double record, and hit a game-winning logo three. He's trying to bother Gilgeous-Alexander. He knocks it away from behind immediately. And now Shea is going to pick up the foul. He thought he got tapped on the elbow from behind.
Is Westbrook arguing for a transition take foul? He's like, I know him. I do him all the time.
Yeah, so interesting. I mean, honestly, they should be putting Holmgren on Westbrook if they're really taking this seriously. And we're also going to get a look at Julian Strawther as well. I think a big part of why Christian Braun, at least for tonight, got the starting nod over Strawther is they need someone to guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got to put Gordon on J-Dub, so who's going to guard Shai?
We are not broadcasting the game. I don't know if we'll talk about it on the pod, but of note, Kevin Huerter is the starting two guard for the Kings tonight.
Oh, that is a big surprise. There's Shai pulling up right in the face of Strawther. They managed to get the switch. Jokic looking to hand off to Strawther. Strawther into Holmgren. Not an advantage matchup. Back to Jokic. They are going to need to double team here now, of course, with 10 on the clock. Strawther, one pass away, missed it. Jokic can't get that rebound, and Shai looking to attack. Picked up by Gordon. I think this is a good matchup on him, but Shai broke his ankles. Jokic reached in. Holmgren not taking that three, pulls up from mid-range. That's a nice play by Chet Holmgren. Now Westbrook working in the lane, finding the cutter. Beautiful work there by Porter Jr. And Westbrook has really made himself into one of the best interior passers in the NBA.
Yeah, when he can use his speed to generate space and then be a little bit patient, there are a lot of avenues, and he at times is really good at finding them.
Yeah, there's another play where OKC just had Isaiah Joe, of all people, hanging out along the baseline and awkward spacing, but he made it work. Screen for Porter Jr. A little slow getting into things. Now Westbrook. They look to have him turn the corner. Kicks it back. No, I think that was deflected. Shai looking quick again. Goes right into Porter Jr. Missed it. Wallace was halfway in between a dunk and a tip. Got it back. Missed again. Still recovered by OKC. And a foul. And one for Chet Holmgren, as I think most of Denver assumed that OKC was just going to score, and they gave up multiple second chances. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty bad non-effort from Porter Jr. this time.
And thank goodness, appreciate Ibra Costa getting this to us. Our friend Josh Robbins, Brian Keefe said that Bub Carrington has a mild ankle sprain. Thank goodness. As some of you will know, he was one of my absolute favorites in this draft class. I scouted 25 guys, and I think I had him 6th or 7th. And I haven't gotten to watch the Pelicans much, but I've heard that one of my other favorites relative to everyone else in this class, Yves Missi, had a good start. So I'm very excited to watch him probably over the weekend. Well, that's something, I mean, we could talk about this game if you want, but something I know people ask me this all the time is like, how do you approach the beginning of the season? And one of the things that I do is I try to get my eyes on every team pretty early, and I try to do it in 2 separate quarters unless a team faces such a perfect matchup or we're during a broadcast. So in that case, then I'll watch more, like, a really good one. But the idea behind that is you want to see them in different ecosystems, see them against different kinds of opponents. And so you just have to, I do some scouting and then you do some watching after the fact. That's something I've gotten more into since I became a dad. But because sometimes you think that a game is going to be interesting or compelling, and whether a guy gets not ruled out or just becomes a blowout in the third quarter. Like I was going to watch the third quarter of Cavs Raptors, then no, I didn't watch the third quarter of that one.
All right, let's take this one. I think KCP might follow Will Barton and Bruce Brown as the honorary dude that leaves Jokic and suddenly looks cooked award. I mean, KCP was a very effective player before that. Now, he is certainly at his best playing off the stars, right? Like he was in Washington, no one was talking about him being this type of player. And then obviously next to Nikola Jokic, he looked better. I don't know that Orlando necessarily has that type of ecosystem for him. And also he's just 31 too. He could just kind of be done as a result of that. I also didn't think Barton was like particularly reliant on Jokic. For his game. He just, had these knee issues and that was kind of it. So I don't know that obviously Jokic makes it way easier for everyone, but I wouldn't necessarily say, I mean, KCP is a more complimentary player and the Magic don't have as much to compliment. So I think there is some concern there. Sure. All right. I think we're back. Yeah. We'll probably do some switching over to this Sacramento Minnesota game too, I would guess, at some point, especially because these national TV commercials are interminable.
It's funny because it seems like a rude welcome, and then you remember that the finals that we just had almost all national games when we ended. It was just they were a long time ago. Also, as you've theorized, this year could be unusually aggressive in terms of that with a certain broadcaster.
So we're going to see Ousmane Dieng, it looks like now. And we'll also see Alex Caruso getting his first attempt. And it looks like Caruso is going to actually match up with Jokic.
Yes!
And they've got Holmgren on Peyton Watson. Now they switch out of that. Kick it out. Here's Westbrook's three-pointer, and yeah.
That mountain air, it's a little bit different.
Well, you'd think the ball would fly a little easier in the thin air. Maybe he overcorrected for that. Holmgren trying to work off the screen off the ball. Now Shea getting to his spot, reaching. He could have gone up with it maybe. Holmgren on the drive. No look, no dip three by Dieng, but Nuggets couldn't control the rebound.
Yeah, Westbrook went up for it, but couldn't really corral it with his left hand, so it is going to stay Thunderball.
Oh, nice, quick, cheeky pass there by Caruso. That is an element that he brings we didn't see as much of in Chicago, is he does give some passing. I want to see if he can do some pick and roll stuff. Here's Jokic, going to just dunk it as Holmgren went down, but I was watching that closely. It didn't look like enough that Holmgren had any chance of having his flop rewarded. So now they've actually got Jokic. It looks like he's either guarding Dieng or Caruso on the weak side. Oh, blow by Shea. He just absolutely destroyed Peyton Watson on that one, even with Watson's size advantage. Shea is looking very explosive here early. Jokic at the elbow. Caruso on Murray. Watson, this is a big shot for him. We'll see when guys come back every year. I want to see, can they make a corner three? Can they make it above the break three? Maybe they couldn't before. And there is Shea working Strother again. Just hit a three in his face earlier, and now he's going to get to the foul line.
On that last OKC possession, we ended up briefly with Westbrook guarding Chet Holmgren. I would actually like to see how that would work. I think Westbrook might not do the worst job on Holmgren. Like, kind of challenge, like put Chet into some weird spaces, and like he might. I mean, Chet has a good head on his shoulders, but just kind of like mess him up a little bit.
Yeah, another guy I'm really looking forward to seeing is Chet. How has he increased the speed of his three-point shot? Is he able to do more off the dribble? Like, could he evolve into this third creator that they need? I think it's probably a little too early for that for him, as Shea hitting the second one, and as well as Denver started 18-10, 16-5 OKC since then. Westbrook rejecting the screen, going at Wallace. Oh, Caruso with a beautiful deflection. And he gets it again, but it goes right back to Murray. And Murray misses the three. And Caruso can't get that rebound. It's lost. And Caruso forced that. That was an amazing defensive possession. And finally, they get the ball back. But Caruso should have had 2 steals on that. It was unlucky.
Yeah, I think he touched the ball 3 times on one defensive trip down the floor.
J-Dub is back in. Wallace picked up by Watson. J-Dub has shards. They should just get out of his way. Instead, he fires the 3 at the mesh point of that screen. So now we are getting a look at this Denver bench. Murray has joined them. He's guarded by Caruso. This is a tough ask for Murray to score in this circumstance. Oh, nice go and catch. Strother just can't finish. Watson trying to keep it alive, and it hits the end line. Another chance for Denver.
This is also the front court pairing that I was most excited to see for Denver. Saric and Watson as the 4 and the 5, on the idea of that they could kind of bring a little bit more floor spacing, but still have rim protection with Peyton Watson.
Saric looking to set up that zoom action to Murray. Saric now looking to post up on Wallace. Good pressure by Wiggins prevented that pass to Saric. Instead, it's Murray beating Jeng and the shot clock, but not getting the bucket. Now it's Wallace into the lane, stuck, gets it back to J-Dub, who should have got up on Saric. Saric, not a good rim protector. Wiggins. He'll try Strother. Strother cut him off. Wiggins still working. Tough fadeaway, and he does score that.
It was surprising to see that happen, because usually the Thunder kind of would work for a better shot. But I mean,
can you boost your microphone, please, or put it closer?
I just moved it closer to me. If this doesn't work, then I'll.
It's still pretty low.
Okay, I'll
it was okay earlier.
Oh, I inadvertently hit. I turned Audacity on. I'll probably earlier. I should be able to fix this. That sometimes screws with my mic settings. Just give me a second.
Julius Randle looking great early in Wolves Kings. That's not a surprise. The Kings have nobody to guard him. Here, you want to give me another level check, Danny?
I haven't updated them yet. I need to get to the right panel on my settings page.
Okay, yeah. So you're basically.
I'll tell you when it's ready for a check. What? There it is.
So 2-for-1 time now for OKC. Williams guarded by Watson. They run 3 different guys into screening action, cause some confusion. That sets up Jeng for the wide open corner 3 with a flare screen set by Caruso. That was really a cool action with 3 different guys go screening through, and then they throw it to Joe. Defense reacts, and then Caruso was also setting a screen in the corner. Caruso
now
does do a nice
okay.
job, even if he's not a great spacer, of trying to create space. Now, Murray kept Caruso on his back, but Jang came over to help out. Caruso read that, peeled onto the guy in the corner, and Murray threw it away. So 12.5 left, and Denver just has not scored. They had 18 points in 5 minutes and 7 or 6 since then. They want to go after Braun. J-Dub rejects that screen. Oh, he's rejected himself by Watson. Here's Murray from way out, and it's over the backboard. But nice start for OKC, and I'm guessing I haven't looked at the plus minus yet, but I don't want to see what it looks like for Russell Westbrook.
It doesn't seem like it'll be fantastic, and yeah, it was the. Let's look at it. Russell Westbrook, -15 in 6 minutes of action. Casey Wallace, +12 in 6 minutes of action.
Yeah, now I don't necessarily put that on Westbrook. I do kind of think, though, that I would like to just get a look at what it's like with no Murray and no Jokic and just run everything through Westbrook and try to get a great defensive unit out there.
Play a little bit more like those old Thunder teams did, the late stage Thunder.
Yeah, you're still too low, by the way.
Huh. Okay, I will.
You can just turn the knob on your microphone.
That doesn't work as well as doing it through the app. Oh, okay. I'll push higher. Okay. How's this?
I think that's better. How about for everyone in the comments? And you should probably usually be at like 80% on your computer settings.
Oh, I'm at 95 now.
Oh yeah.
So I was at 80. Yeah. Every once in a while a quirk like that happens. I think it might have been that I accidentally clicked the Audacity button, and then sometimes that messes with my settings. I'll do a refresh maybe at a quarter break or at halftime, and maybe that'll help.
Yeah, everyone says you're still too low. So I mean, just blast it.
I mean, I'll put it at 100. That's as high as it goes. This one, there is a separate setting, but I'm not great at changing it. Yeah, I'll check. I will check my input. No, but
this is just the absolute worst radio ever. Yeah. Also, by the way, for y'all who are listening on playback, probably not YouTube, but on playback, you can actually boost if you take the stage slider, you can actually boost our volume. Although I am aware that the problem is the differential between me and Danny. But they said it's better.
Yay.
Yeah, but they also think might not. You may have the wrong mic selected.
No, it's at least
now it's better. I think it might actually be good now. Oh, this is so fun.
Well, at least we did it during a stoppage, so we're fine.
That's true.
What else were we supposed to do during this interminable national TV break? Talk about the other game? Thank you.
Oh, we could. I'm gonna see if I can throw that on. Here, I would say also maybe just refresh and jump back in because you're a little choppy now too.
Hooray.
All right, so we'll be back here. I did a whole one of these yesterday, so I can. So OKC going without a center. It's really been Usman Jang, I guess, technically at center. And there's Westbrook blowing right past Wiggins. And that's with them not having a center, I think that's what he should be trying to do more of. But yeah, if you're going to have Westbrook and not give him the ball, it's not going to go too well. Wallace, nice attack. Westbrook stopped it from behind, but didn't have quite the hang time to make that save.
Yeah, and Westbrook, I think he did hit that ball off of Cason Wallace when Wallace was out of bounds, but Westbrook had already been out of bounds himself.
Yeah, now Wallace has done a few more attacks off the dribble, hasn't quite profited yet. Williams gonna work on Šarić, and that's just too easy of a matchup, but he missed the shot. I mean, Williams, whenever he gets Šarić on him, he should go right at him. Šarić is not particularly fleet of foot, nor can he get off the ground for a contest. Wiggins switched on to by Šarić. Šarić can't stay in front of him, though. That was a nice attack by Wiggins, again, recognizing who is guarding him and that he was forcing him towards the baseline. He just went right at him. No rim protection there for the Nuggets either. Watson passed behind him. They'll try again here through Murray. Switched on to by Wiggins. I think Murray can go at Wiggins.
There's not enough player movement here by the Nuggets. There are at least 3 guys standing still at any one time.
Now Caruso, he'll screen and slip out. Here's Wallace. Oh, that's a terrible pass. Thunder lucky to get it back. Into the corner, Wiggins. Good closeout by Watson. Murray comes over to trap the box, and it's intercepted by Strawther. Transition. Watch out. No. Strawther lost it. Gets it back. Wow, what a finish that was for an awkward angle.
Good little recovery there from Strawther.
And speaking of that, this is one of the things that OKC does the absolute best in the league is running off of a make. And Šarić just no rim protection at all as Williams went right past him. And that's just for your center to be in position there and just provide zero resistance is tough.
And I mean, organizationally, I think that the Michael Malone and the Nuggets need to instill it in Peyton Watson that he's the center, he's the low man. I mean, that isn't necessarily how they're going to scheme it, but I think that's how they should think about it. Because Šarić, they treat it like he's not even there.
J-Dub gets it back. Caruso, corner 3. I'm interested to see how Caruso shoots it this year and how much he shoots it, because he shot a high percentage last year, but he's never been a great shooter. Oh, great defense by Wallace. They're lucky to recover it with Šarić, and Šarić able to bounce it in. Wallace goes at Strawther. Rebound Caruso. He beat Šarić, but couldn't get the finish. Murray almost double dribbled. Had to tap it ahead. Now he'll come off the pick and roll. They try to change the angle of the screen. Caruso is there. Corner Westbrook. They helped off of him, and he misses it. That Šarić was open on the pick and roll, but they took that away, helping off of Westbrook, and Westbrook can't make him pay. Now J-Dub picking it up. This is A.J. Mitchell, who just came on and hits it off the heel. Mark Daigneault going very deep into his bench despite the absences.
Yeah, Mark Daigneault loves doing that. The UC Santa Barbara product, who I'm very interested to watch in this setting.
Now Šarić will fire well short, but Watson with a look what I found her.
And I think Michael Malone is learning the lesson that every Russell Westbrook coach does, which is when he plays offense and is not involved in the primary action, it is so easy to defend their team.
Wiggins got Strawther in the air, blow by going right at. Oh, that is a tough man finish by Wiggins going right into the shot blocker. Wiggins looking great here early. And I question Strawther jumping at that shot fake in that way. Murray trying Caruso and left it short. Not a terrible look going at him one-on-one. Oh, nice job backing him off and then draining that off the dribble.
And yeah, Jared Dubin did a nice thing in his OKC preview about that specific shot, the kind of dribble up 3 that Jalen Williams can do a lot more. It's not that he was bad on those shots, it's that he didn't do them enough last year.
Sorry to say this, you're slightly hot now.
That's fine.
Just get a little distortion at the top of the range.
I mean, what the answer is, I probably should have restarted first, and then I probably wouldn't have messed with all the settings. But it's opening week for everybody, Nate.
It's just like this live streaming shit is like, it's such a weird cocktail.
Okay, so I dropped it. I dropped it a fair amount. Well, closer to normal.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yay.
Let's see what we got here for discussion.
And while you're looking at that, quick score update: Sacramento 38, Minnesota 35. Leading scorer in the game, Julius Randle, 15 on 6 of 7. For Sacramento, Fox and Monk each have 9.
Do you want to go to that game for a little bit? What's comments? What say you? Should we check that one out? It does have the advantage that you guys can at least watch it with us if you're on playback. Is just sign in with your League Pass account. Make the switch. All right, we have one vote for switching. Last year, Bill Simmons compared J-Dub to Kawhi on the Spurs. Does that thought cross your mind? Wow. Yeah, I mean, he's probably more advanced from a offensive perspective at this stage. Now, Kawhi was obviously one of the best defenders in the league the moment he came in. Like J-Dub has exceeded my expectations, but he doesn't have like those type of hands, that type of lateral movement.
Well, and also Kawhi's strength. Like, he is an unbelievably strong human being. J-Dub is not quite that guy.
All right, we're switching, Danny. We got the votes. Sacramento 41, Minnesota 35. Randall gets fouled inside. And yeah, if they're going with Trey Lyles at center here, this should be a pretty high offense game. Looks like we're headed that way right now. It's particularly when Gobert is out.
Lineups that are out there right now: Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, McDaniels, Randall, and Reed. And for the Kings, Monk, Herter, DeRozan, Lyles, Keegan Murray.
Yeah, Randall hits the first. So, I mean, you probably put Lyles on Randall. And
Yeah.
they're gonna get Edwards back in the game here now too.
And Kevin Herter has not yet attempted a shot.
So has Ellis played at all?
He has. He played 5 minutes.
Okay. And so it must not be injury related.
I mean, Mike Brown did say that like Herter wasn't healthy enough to like, I guess, to have it be a decision during the preseason. So maybe he was actually saying something more.
Yeah, see that's a terrible pass by DeRozan. Why would you give it to Monk guarded by Edwards when DeRozan has Julius Randle on him? Now Lyles will try Reed. Tough fadeaway. I mean, like DeRozan has to attack there, or you end up with that. Now Randall blow by on Herter, kicks it out wide open corner 3. Alexander Walker. Randall is very good at setting up those 3-pointers. I thought he actually could have just finished that one.
I thought he was until the pass flew out.
And there, Alexander Walker just totally out of position when DeRozan catches the ball. He just drove right to the basket. Reed picked up by Lyles, and that is going to be a blocking foul. We'll count it, in fact. I thought Reed maybe got his elbow up a little bit there.
Naz Reid, 5 points, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 made 3, 1 made 2, couple rebounds and an assist.
No, he did not get the elbow up. Clear blocking foul.
Friend of the program, Domantas Sabonis' stat line so far: 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal.
Reed completes the 3-point play. Gobert is returned, as has McDaniels, to pick up DeRozan. Good pressure. Now, though, DeRozan gets going. Tried to draw the foul, and he's done it.
Gobert is demanding the review. The coaching staff is looking at it. My instinct is probably not worth using a challenge.
Yeah, 7:42 left right now. Sorry, we're not getting the time on YouTube with
Oh yeah,
these
well, okay. If we're
simulcasts.
not doing that, then I can do some time checks.
Yeah, we'll just stay here until the next commercial, probably.
In the other game, the Thunder are currently up 42-32.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough Denver without Jokic on the floor. Maybe when he comes back, we'll switch back there. Here's Edwards. Sabonis out on the floor. They move it. Reed on the attack. Floats it. No. Good defense by the Kings. And no, we'll stay here. Reed knocked it off the knee of Sabonis. Do I like these way overhead camera angles? Absolutely not. They're terrible. There's just it's a way to seem like you're doing something for, producers or camera operators or whatever. Randall going at DeRozan, has to kick out Gobert. Now Conley. Conley works into the lane, floats it with that righty, missed it. Kings have transition now. Sabonis trying to run the floor. Gobert hustled back. DeRozan off the screen, wide open. Miscommunication there between Gobert and Anthony Edwards. Sacramento offense looking good here early. One thing I did notice in preseason, I thought DeRozan looked pretty good physically. Now it's Randall. Going to try DeRozan. Sabonis coming over to help. Randall pulls up. I mean, that's not a good enough shot. Like, he's got to do better in that matchup.
It needs to continue attacking, force a response, and then take advantage of that response.
Good defense without fouling by Conley, but Sabonis kept it alive. He shed Gobert underneath, and Conley with no choice but to wrap him up. All right, should we switch back?
Sure.
And Jokic is back at the line.
No one with 3 fouls, and it looks like neither team is in the bonus yet. The Thunder have committed 3 fouls, so the Nuggets are getting close.
So 44-36 OKC with 6:05 left. Gilgeous-Alexander is back, guarded by Brown, and they immediately get the switch of Murray. Shea sizes him up. Brown trying to help at the nails. Shea goes the other way and scores right over Murray easily. Now Gordon getting a deep post up. Brown, the pass was awry, so Jokic will try a drive through 3 players, and Chet wasn't able to bother him. Mitchell, a smooth lefty, I think out of Santa Barbara. Here's Chet on the crossover. Stopped by Jokic, almost lost it. Yeah, the Chet drive game, I'm never going to be a huge believer. Mitchell fires the 3. He has, I thought, a decent summer league, but this is it's a slightly different animal here. Into the post, Jokic tipped away that time. Holmgren defended him well. Pass was poor. Now Shea going to go back to goal against Brown. Oh, Wiggins was wide open. Shea completely missed him. That should have been a layup. That's where Shea can be a little bit better. Double team. Oh, what a laser.
Pass.
Braun can't make it. Tip Gordon, and he beats Holmgren twice. Timeout, Mark Daignault.
Oh, that's interesting. So I was gonna do. In my brain, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be this narrative. No, Nuggets -1, outscored by 1 point with Jokic on the floor, outscored by 5 with Jokic off. Not that. I mean, that's a difference, but it's not a
But
preposterous.
Westbrook came in to play with Jokic some, Danny. What can Jokic should be expected to do in that situation?
Is that going to be the argument for MVP this year? Is that he had to carry the Russell Westbrook minutes? It's like a diver raising their degree of difficulty.
We'll see. I still think that Westbrook is not going to be the absolute end of the world for this team. I mean, that he's replacing Reggie Jackson. I realize he has different strengths and weaknesses, but I mean, at least he'll give him something on defense. Like I think he'll do that. So catch up just on a few stats from this one. 115 offensive rating for OKC, 97 for Denver. Both teams are assaulting the offensive glass with over 40% offensive rebound rate.
Well, and Denver 2 of 14 from 3 so far. That makes the Thunder's 5 of 15, which is still 33%, look magnificent.
Yeah, and Denver is taking an insane number of shots at the rim. They are taking, is this right? 60%? No, that can't be right.
I'm pulling up the NBA shot charts.
Yeah, they are taking 60% of their shots at the rim.
Wow.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, 19 of 36 is that's kind of the math right now on the NBA's official one.
Wait, they've taken 36 shots at the rim?
No, 19
No.
of 36.
19 of their 36 shots. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
See if we had any other questions here. Yeah, Chet Wemby debate in the comments. And I actually thought last year it was closer than a lot of people thought. I eventually gave my non-existent vote to Wembanyama for Rookie of the Year, but I thought for a lot of the year, Chet was clearly the more effective player, in part due to the fact that he shot it better. But Chet fell off, and obviously Wembanyama got a lot better as the year went on. But
Well, and
I would be,
Wembanyama got a larger portion of his year that was outside of that terrible stretch in the beginning where he was playing power forward and didn't make any sense.
That's right. Now they want to try to involve Joe in the screening action. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, kicks it out. Dort passes a little low. Oh, Brown came over and blocked Jokic. He's made some impressive defensive plays. Now Brown on the attack. Oh, he walked. I'm surprised they didn't call that as a travel, because when you do that jump stop, you got to get your feet to hit at the exact same time. But I think they thought that it did. Holmgren not able to do anything against Jokic. Now a beautiful lead pass there by Williams to send Chet to the line for an and one.
And even though they're not physically similar at all, I would love to see Holmgren, like when they pass him that ball, kind of the high post, just have that as a jump shot, like the no dribble, just take that, because he could mechanically, like there's no reason why he couldn't, but he ends up getting the nice and one anyway.
Yeah, he just, even since the lower levels, he's loved to put the ball on the floor and likes to drive, likes to play face up, and he's just not quick enough to me to really be effective that way. But like you said, I think he could be effective if he maybe kind of Porzingis-ized his game a little bit more. Here is Porter Jr. coming off that screening action that he loves to go to his left. You'll see all of those. He always is going to start on the right side of the floor and head to his left to shoot that jumper. Now Shea kicking it out. Joe stepped behind the line, and he is one of the league's best from that position. Jokic hasn't seen as much of the ball in the posts. Porter Jr. looking to get going again. Nice tip out by Murray. Jokic tried to find Porter Jr. posting up. It wasn't there. Now Murray instead open side pick and roll, and the spacing was quite compacted in the end.
And I think Murray went up there thinking something would open up, but it was just too narrow a window with too little time, just kind of throws it out of bounds. I thought that might have been tipped, but the ref had a better angle on it than I did.
Now Holmgren off that screen up top. He's going to try off the dribble again. This time he goes at Porter Jr., and that's not good enough for Michael Porter Jr. to get beaten off the dribble by Holmgren. We were just talking about how he hasn't been too effective there.
Well, it's funny because those are two bigger dudes that had the ball in their hands a lot more at the lower levels than most guys their size. And Michael Porter Jr., in part because of his back issues, has gone away from that. Holmgren has at times embraced it more.
Yeah,
And it's funny, you were talking about Holmgren at the lower levels. I had completely forgotten this, but back in 2019, when I went to a Team USA event in Colorado Springs, part of the reason I liked Evan Mobley more than Chet Holmgren was because on offense is because Mobley kind of stuck to his guns more, and that's shifted a little bit over the last 5 years.
A nice job by Murray there, going away from Jokic to get to his spot and rise up. Brown looking for the screen. Shea just going to try him. Holmgren above the break. Shea breaking the ankles of Brown right there. And Shea's done a really good job of going away from that nail help.
And it just feels to me like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hasn't had the ball in his hands quite enough.
Yeah, well, it's worked when he has. Here's Murray. Oh, beaten by Dort. Loose on the floor. Murray getting it back. And I thought that was actually a foul by Shea, but the two Canadians will jump it.
Our second jump ball between these two individuals.
Yeah, so this is a nice play here. Murray inside out dribble to beat Dort and get to the spot and rise up over him. Murray won that tip into the backcourt. Jokic gets behind it. Didn't want the clock to start. He'll try to draw the foul. Good awareness of the clock by him to not touch it until he could get a running start with only 4 on the shot clock, but wasn't able to draw a foul there.
I've always wondered if there would be a way for the refs to, it would have so much for gray area to just not call a shot clock violation there. OKC had clear possession, but you don't want to, there's some downside risks of the other approach.
There's Joe. Oh, Holmgren beat Jokic that time for the rebound. Joe on the floater, loose and recovered by Gordon. Jokic picked up by Holmgren, gets the screen. Oh, yes. Gilgeous-Alexander caught completely napping there. And one of the things you got to remember when you're guarding a guy of questionable shooting ability is Holmgren slips to the basket and sets up a 2-foot dunk for Dort. When you're guarding a guy of questionable shooting ability, you got to be more prepared than usual for him to cut to the basket because that's what he wants to do. Deflection by Dort goes right into Porter Jr.'s hands off the heel, rebounded by Holmgren. That's another thing I'll be looking at for Holmgren this year is defensive rebounding. Here's Shea finding Williams, and no, he can't finish over Jokic, but Shea skies over him. Joe finally gets the ball. He was open originally. He's going to run this down all the way in the corner. 9 to shoot. Probably not enough to run it down for a 2-for-1. Shea's just going to have to try here. And interesting.
And now they have enough for the 2-for-1 because that should be a kick on Jokic. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So, Nate, what time do you want to release this ball if you're trying to maximize your 2-for-1?
Yeah, I mean, probably in the 35-second range, something like that. So OKC by 9, and let's see if they can make something out of these 2-for-1 possessions. Shea gets open against Brown. They want to involve Murray. He slips out of it. Shea will take the 3 right at the time they wanted, but he missed it. Yeah, now this is a circumstance here where they could go try to shoot it at 14 and really crash the offensive glass to get the last possession. Jokic throws it to the corner. Watson fresh into the game. Now Brown, he'll drive into 3 Thunder, and man, he is a really good finisher for his size. Let's see how they try to get this last shot. They'll take the foul to give. I don't really understand why they would do it that early.
The Thunder are going to hold it. Why do you care if he gets a little bit of advantage on that drive? They're not going to shoot it for another few seconds anyway. Like, you don't need to give up that foul. They're probably going to run a better play here now.
Yeah, we really have not seen much of Caruso. He's not closing the half.
I think he's technically going to come in right now, but like I get what you're saying.
Yeah, he'll inbound it. Guess they just got J-Dub out of the game for some reason. I don't know why they would do that. Here's Joe floating, left it short. He's had a few chances here at the end, but really nice response from OKC after going down 18-10. And we'll take a break for halftime. We'll be back shortly before the start of the second half. All right, back here for the second half. And this first probably 6 minutes or so is going to be quite key because I think Denver is going to need to build up. I won't say a lead because they're down 7, but they're going to need to get back into contact and maybe even up with a small lead because once they go to their bench, it hasn't been great. Murray kept on the side nicely by Dort. Now they switch it. Jokic had Gordon open underneath. Gordon just, why didn't he dunk that? He's got Isaiah Joe on him underneath. Now Shea pulls up in transition. He drains it back, rim and down. And all of a sudden, OKC up double digits. That's a big swing. And as well as Christian Braun has played, he has not hit the three. Porter Jr. on the drive, right hand, missed it. He's been trying to be a little more active going to the hoop. They could use that this year. Now Holmgren going at Jokic underneath. Joe has Jokic on him. Now Williams back to Joe. Jokic getting out there slowly. Nuggets dodged a bullet there.
I am back.
Jokic looking to post up. Double team comes from Shea. That's not the guy you can leave there. They got to do something better than that. That's just, at a minimum, you have to have a guy ready to rotate to him. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculously easy money. Here's Dort going to try to attack Braun. I mean, that's a terrible decision. That's their best defender. You've gotten their best defender off of Shea, and now Braun's going to go right in for another dunk. And Mark Daigneault is not happy. Meanwhile, Michael Malone is upset that that wasn't an and one.
And that was also some disappointing transition defense. Watch here. There's Chet Holmgren's just not quite back on the play. And so Brown, he didn't expect the blow by, but still.
Yeah, and Shea wasn't really in position either. But, I mean, that was such a terrible shot by Dort. I mean, that's going to hurt just your overall balance. But it's also going to just hurt your spirit in transition defense. Now, if you're a professional, you should still be able to get past that. But, I mean, Dort trying to drive and take a 15-foot fadeaway against their best perimeter defender is just madness.
Madness. Quick score update on the other game, 59-55 in favor of the home Sacramento Kings early in the third quarter.
Yeah, Randall, 22 points, 8 of 10, 4 of 5 from 3. Interestingly, DiVincenzo didn't play as much in the first half. And yeah, as you noted, Herder's starting, and Keon Ellis only played 7 minutes.
Well, and back to the Lou Dort front, it's something that has lingered with me from kind of like previewing the Thunder offseason. Those who remember how excited I am, and they got really good players in Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. I still think if we're talking about this team as a high-level championship like contender, that they can do better than Dort at that spot. And I mean, that was a key inflection point in not the finals, in the series they lost before the finals to the Dallas Mavericks. And was that his deficiencies there. And it doesn't appear just from the moves they made, we don't know about the negotiations, that those kind of things were in play. And it's always tricky with a team that is simultaneously the best they've been in this iteration and really, really good. The Thunder are an unbelievably good young team. But sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. Sometimes the guys that got you there aren't the guys that get you over the top.
Yeah, I think the player that he was last year was a really good player, and he was a huge part of their success. And yeah, and he did. I mean, considering where he was 2 years ago, I thought he really took steps forward in terms of his shot selection. Obviously, he made his threes, and he certainly is defensively well capable of what they need from him. So I think I'm not going to shovel dirt on him yet. I'm open to the idea. I'm open to the idea that maybe you close with Caruso rather than Lou Dort in some matchups, particularly if you also have Hartenstein available.
Well, I think my core point is not like Lou Dort is terrible or anything like that. He's obviously good, but they have a boatload of first-round picks. They have all these other resources, and there are better versions of that player that exist, and they're not always gettable. Sometimes you can ask, and the answer is just go kick rocks. But I think that for the best versions of Thunder, that sort of 3-and-D wing, they'll need someone better.
Yeah, I'm just not sure who that would be, even with the assets they have available. I mean, Mikal Bridges is going for 5 first-round picks. And Dort is also on a good contract, too. I think maybe you'll be right. I'm a long way from even thinking about that, though, at this point. I think it's more likely just that not that you trade him, but that you just get another option, maybe if he's making some bad decisions or not hitting shots on a given night. All right, back to work here. Holmgren looking for Shea out of the corner. They don't switch this. Shea forces Jokic to come up, and then they didn't have enough help on the backside. Once Jokic had to step out, then the nice pocket pass by Shea that time. Gordon at the elbow, flare screen for Murray. Murray got good separation against Dort, but it's off, and Brown almost kept it alive, but 4 Thunder were there. Ahead to Holmgren. Holmgren off the dribble, getting past Jokic beautifully. No help available.
And that was a way you can use Chet Holmgren's ball skills very nicely.
A couple of rough defensive possessions by Jokic. He tries to back down. Porter Jr. going to his disfavored right side that time. Couldn't knock it down, but Jokic has it off the offensive glass, and that's a favored move there. Right at the basket off a beautiful backdoor by Jokic. Now Holmgren, again, they love that action, but Holmgren not even close on that three-pointer. I mean, that's the action they love to run. I started to say that Redick and LeBron talked about it on their podcast, of just that transition play, screen with a guard, screen the center. It's just so hard for that center to get out there. Murray, it's Joe. Now they have no spacing. Brown gets it to Jokic, but they don't change sides of the floor. Jokic can work in that tight space. Gordon on a tough fader. Wow. Surprised that went in because his footwork was difficult.
His footwork's difficult, and he shot it over Chet Holmgren. Still made it.
Williams has been relatively quiet since the early going. Now he'll fire the 3 at that mesh point of that switch. Jokic throwing it ahead. Porter Jr., and he's clubbed by Jalen Williams.
And it was fun. You couldn't see the offensive players there, but I was watching Jokic's eyes. He was basically doing a progression there. Oh, is the guy closest to the basket open? No. And then it was Michael Porter Jr., and he draws the foul.
Yeah, Porter Jr. has done more getting to the basket. He doesn't have the same explosion that he had before the second back issue that cost him all of 21-22. And of course, with the addition of Aaron Gordon, he doesn't play as close to the basket any longer. Maybe there would be a chance to get him some more power forward minutes. I guess not really on their bench. The problem when you don't have any other shooters is that the shooters you do have need to stand outside for the most part. Now Williams picked up by Jokic. They move it. Holmgren wasn't open. Jokic got back into the play. Now it's going to be Shea still on the ball. Corner Holmgren. See, that's got to go up. That needs to be a shot. I know he makes that mid-ranger, but that just needs to be a quicker release. If you're a real shooting center, you need to be able to get that shot off there. Now Jokic. Dort went for the double team. Brown with the pass fake in the air steps around Dort, who is in position for the charge. Holmgren throwing it ahead. Shea working on Gordon. He's looked to have confidence in this matchup. Gordon cuts him off. Oh, I don't like that call at all. I thought Gordon really was.
Gordon was moving to his side.
Yeah, I think Gordon had landed already. To me, it's not like a perfectly normal shooting motion from Shea. I think this one you can let go. Man, I really wish I was like still at a stage in life where I was just intentionally trying to eat as much as possible. But sadly, once we have the money to afford as much food as we want and have it be good, then we don't have the metabolism for it anymore.
Yes, sadly so.
Now Braun up top, they run that wedge screen for Jokic, getting through it is Holmgren. Good deflection by Wallace. Gordon recovers in the dunker spot. Oh, Holmgren with a huge block on Porter Jr. off the back door. Porter,
And I think Holmgren's right that was off of MPJ.
yeah, he's looking at the bench. Let's see if the former challenge got. He didn't have it in the. They don't go for the challenge, and now they're going to get a wide open three for Porter Jr. He can't cash it out. Yeah, Dignauld had some struggles with challenges in the playoffs. Some struggles with a lot of things, I would say, in his first playoff attempt. There again is that little screen in transition with the guard for Chet Williams. Man, I mean that floater is a very important shot for him, and he is just so good. Maybe not as just a straight initiator, but a second side attacker. There are not many better than him.
What do you think of Case and Waltz being in here rather than Caruso?
Yeah, I mean, I think they really are they want Caruso, I think, to play with that bench unit because when they don't have a center. And wow, look at all these guys. This is like the 80s with the ball getting ping ponged around. Nobody can get the tip. Jokic's usually reliable on those. Now Shea working with that between the legs dribble. Oh, what a pass and cut there from Wallace. And this OKC now back up 9 again. They've weathered an initial storm from Denver. Gordon, he'll take the jumper off the move. Oh, Jokic just shed Holmgren and finishes easily. That was just a man against boys. Jokic went for the steal and then commits the foul.
And that is Jokic's just his second. So they should be fine. No one really in foul trouble here. The most is Jalen Williams. He has 3. In terms of team fouls, it's 2 apiece.
Shea's been quiet here in the second. Holmgren, again, they set a guard screen for him against Jokic, but he really has not been able to hit that shot. I mean, it's going to be available. Like Jokic getting through a screen on a center is generally not going to be there. They haven't played around at all either with Jokic guarding someone other than Holmgren because and Holmgren hasn't shot them out of. Oh, goodbye.
Shoulder fake, Holmgren in the dust. Jokic gets fouled. That was just such a great move.
Yeah, there are certain guys, and you could see it about Jokic even when he was a prospect, who just have the feel for post play. They know when to spin. They know where the opponent's body is. They're always on balance. They can react to what the defender is doing and go the other way. And he's one of the best ever at that, just that. Even compared to someone like Embiid might be a better pure scorer, but in terms of just what he can do with his back to the basket, Jokic, I can't remember many other guys who are better than him with just those quick spins, working into position so confidently.
Well, and with Jokic, it's also that he's always evaluating if there's something better. He is not getting tunnel vision even when he's in a post up. And there are some guys who create a ton of advantages but don't necessarily maximize those advantages.
Oh yeah, and then of course, obviously, there's the fact that he's one of the best passers ever, as well. To just the overall awareness of everything that the defense is doing. The only guy I'd say is comparable these days is Şengün. But Şengün is still obviously working up to that level. It doesn't have that same absolutely preternatural touch that Jokic does. But just a guy like Jokic is not going to get sped up in almost any circumstances. Like he's huge. He's going to work to a spot. And then if you're going to try to really work on him to deny him going a certain way, he'll just go the other way. And once he gets his shoulder in between you and the ball, then you're not going to block his shot in almost all instances. I would love a few more questions here, guys, during the breaks.
Oh, Sacramento went on a little bit of run. They're now up 10 on the Wolves with about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. DeRozan with 18, Julius Randle with 25.
Yeah, so the idea is that OKC actually had imminent possession here, and that Holmgren blocked that Jokic dunk from behind, and that's what the challenge is. First challenge of this game. When I said in the offseason the Thunder could use more shooting, what kind of player are you imagining? I talked about this with John actually today. I mean, basically the ideal guy would be, a mid-career Gordon Hayward who can defend a little, shoot when he doesn't have the ball, but also do stuff on the ball and maybe be your number 2 option in some bench units. Now, that's a very difficult player to go and find. They tried to get the current version of Gordon Hayward last year, and that didn't go so well. But that's kind of the guy. It's probably, I would say, I'm more into creation than shooting, but also having a shooter who could defend a little bit better, but you could run plays for the way they do it. Isaiah Joe would be nice too. But yes, if I pie in the sky, that would be the kind of guy I'd be looking for. I mean, maybe it would be more of a kind of scoring forward type. But that type of guy just might not be good enough to be in their closing lineups. Oh, good. Successful challenge.
I thought Holmgren hit him in the head.
Yeah, I thought he kind of did too. That's surprising. Didn't have quite the angle because it's TNT. And yeah, they will be showing us as many commercials as they possibly can in what is probably their last year. Yeah, Wallace is in the dunker spot again. Shea is blowing by Gordon. Shea has really had some pretty nasty moves on Aaron Gordon. He has confidence in that matchup that he can beat him with his foot speed. Now Caruso is in to make Murray's life miserable. Looping cut by Jokic, back out to Porter. Porter then cuts. Great defense here by OKC, but Murray still has him in the blender. Couldn't explode to finish, though. Shea on the push. Williams, he can attack here. Oh, Wallace was wide open underneath. How is that not a layup for OKC? Now Wallace is going to try Porter Jr. one-on-one. That's interesting. Caruso, beautiful cut, but Porter Jr. switched onto him. Now he'll set the screen for Shea. Shea going to go at Porter Jr. Shea on the blow-by, pulls up. Way too easy, but he missed the shot.
And Caruso put his hand in there, took away the outlet pass.
Williams fronting Gordon in the post. Gordon gets it, goes up with the left, couldn't get off the ground himself.
Nice, strong work there from J-Will.
J-Dub.
God damn it.
But he can be J-Will because J-Will is out. Now Williams himself taking the 3. But I like that shooting on the move. That's somewhere he can expand his game, but he missed that one. Now Porter against Williams. Now here's Brown, tries another dipsy-do finish. 3 missed layups in a row by Denver. Williams leaves it for Chet, and he's clubbed by Murray. Chet might have banged his knee a little bit here. Doesn't look to be anything of particular concern.
Yeah, I think that'll be okay.
And check out the other game.
Sure.
I mean, actually, this game is now ahead of that game. How has that happened? They must have just had a lot of free throws in that one. Yeah, 18-22 for Sacramento.
Maybe some replay reviews or something. Do you want me to switch it or?
I don't know. I was kind of trying to. Maybe we should not switch.
Okay. I'll let you. I'll let you. You can control the clicker for this night.
All right.
So
well,
whatever.
we always take votes in the comments as well. Only 14 for Jokic. 7 field goal attempts. They've double teamed him some. I would like to. They've been running, a lot of their handoff stuff. I'd like to see more of Jokic in the post.
So Nate, I'm looking through the advanced stats in case we go over there for the Sacramento Minnesota game. This came up recently. Minnesota is playing 91.5% of their possessions in the half court in this game.
Huh. Yeah, that's not very good. They were supposed to run more this year too.
That is more than the Suns did against the Clippers last night.
Yeah. Well, when the opponent has already shot 22 free throws, that will keep you out of transition as Holmgren misses that free throw. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray, we were encouraged by his start, and he's now 3 of 12 for 9 points. Again, I wouldn't say that he's looked bad, other than blowing the tire on that finish that we just saw. So Thunder up 10. Let's see how long Malone is going to extend Jokic here. Daignault is sticking with Holmgren this whole time too. And J-Dub is out. There's Watson. He's missed that exact same left side above the break three twice now. And Jokic, as Caruso tried to flop down, Shea gets to his spot, and he locks it in off a weird bounce.
And Nate will have to see if the Nuggets can survive the Russell Westbrook minutes.
Yeah, he's in now. Murray is out. Jokic, they look to double team here through Wallace. There's the cut off of Westbrook. It wasn't there. Everyone goes away. Jokic, and he's stopped by Holmgren. That needed to be a left-handed move by Jokic. Good job by Holmgren, forcing him to his right shoulder. Oh, yes! What a pass by Shea. Jokic was upset. He wasn't paying attention. Holmgren, after the block, beat him, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has thrown some wonderful passes here in the third.
And great effort there. Holmgren blocks it and then just beats. He doesn't start beating Jokic down the floor, but he keeps moving and then gets that nice dunk past Peyton Watson's block.
Yeah, and I didn't see much for Jokic to complain about on that play. I mean, he brought the ball back into Holmgren because he shot it with his right hand. And if Nikola Jokic is saying that Chet Holmgren knocked me off balance, I don't think you're going to have much of an argument on that one. And looks like we have a Michael Malone technical foul here, too. Yeah, so OKC in control now, and Holmgren is up to 21 points on 9 of 14. 4 block shots and 2 steals. So he's been, I won't say quite dominant, but it looked like Jokic was going to have his way with him. They're going to double team constantly. And now you're seeing that lack of shooting from Denver. OKC is really locked in on it. They get a couple of cuts, but largely when the double team comes, OKC is just packing the paint. And if they can't get a layup, Jokic doesn't want to throw it out to like a Westbrook for a three. And so they don't necessarily have anywhere to go. So 15-point game now. Strother, he's been quiet. Shea with good pressure on him. Jokic going to try to post up. Shea comes to double. He's lost it, and it's intercepted by Wallace. Jokic couldn't get steam on it. Beautiful pass ahead, but Jang couldn't quite control it. Holmgren was open underneath. Shea doesn't go there. He wants the post up for Holmgren on Strother. This will be interesting. Holmgren spinning. Help comes. Goes to the tough fader. No. And that's not good offense to me.
Former Gonzaga teammates, Strother and Chet Holmgren.
Oh, that's a great point. Now, Gordon, not an advantage against Caruso. It'll be Jokic in the post. They go weak side. Strother, he got blocked by Shea, but will stay here as Jang was involved in the rebounding action with Jokic and fouled him.
And it is, you've brought up how Oklahoma City is taking advantage of Denver's non-shooters. Something I've been kind of running through is, well, how could Denver change that dynamic? And I mean, one part of it would be some of their young guys who can shoot being better at the other things they could do. I mean, it's a challenge if you consider their financial constraints real, which I don't necessarily do.
Here's a nearly all bench group. No Murray this time. It looks like Murray's actually headed to the table now, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. If you're going to take out Jokic on this offensive possession, why not get Murray back in if you're going to bring him back in? But Westbrook attacking got to the line, and I think you're going to run stuff through him. That's what you brought him in to do. So this group now is Saric at the 5, Strother, Gordon, and Peyton Watson. So you have a couple of relative non-shooters. Although let's see who Murray is going to replace. Probably Gordon would be my guess. Westbrook not close on either of those free throws. Caruso, good rebound. Shea will push it up. He usually plays the whole third quarters. Shea against Westbrook. I don't think this is an advantage matchup for Shea, actually. Let's see if I turn out to be right. Westbrook forces him to step back. I mean, that's not a terrible shot, but not a great one either. Caruso sets the screen, rolls to the basket. Shea, he could just go right through Saric. Once that little brush screen that's not even really set by Caruso, he just got Westbrook to turn his head enough. Shea attacks right at that point, gets past him, and then there's nothing Saric can do. Yeah. Nuggets haven't scored in some time. Murray off the screen. That's the right pass. Watson. Oof.
Nate, is this Ousmane Dieng at center?
It is, yeah. Just like, oh, Watson just flew in for the block. But yeah, whoever you want to characterize as the center here, it is Dieng. I mean, he's their biggest guy coming off the bench with Kenrich, Jalen Williams, and Hartenstein all injured.
I don't know where Peyton Watson came from, and he blocked that shot with his wrist.
Oh, what a pass on the inbound. Wallace has had some cheeky cuts tonight. Denver hasn't scored in 4 minutes, and might be time to switch to the other game here. That's down to 5, so I think we're going to go over there. Let's get to the end of the third quarter.
By the way, Russell Westbrook up to -25.
Woof! I mean, it's not all his fault. Like, some of these other guys need to be able to shoot better than him. We know he can't shoot. Monk swings it around. Lyles. Fox trying to work on Alexander Walker, and Fox beat him. No charge in favor of DiVincenzo. And then it's thrown away. That's Ellis who airballed that. And we're going to have a bad foul in the backcourt. This is going to be free throws for Minnesota.
Keon Ellis trying to make the most of his now apparently more limited opportunities now that he is coming off the bench with Kevin Huerter starting.
And excuse me, that's the 4th team foul. And Ellis will depart. Murray has the matchup on Edwards. Edwards, 5 of 15, 10 of his 15 attempts have been threes. Now Edwards looking to get others involved. Alexander Walker, 3, right side. Nice job there by Edwards, just making the obvious pass and getting him into rotation. And Minnesota back in contact here. They had been down as many as a 10 or so. Here's Keegan Murray, and Reed gets the rebound over his opposite number 11, Sabonis. Sabonis changing his number this year to accommodate DeMar DeRozan. Here's Edwards. Uh-oh. Minnesota in the lead with 2 straight threes all of a sudden. Fox, that to me could have been an offensive foul. Sabonis fires the 3, not close. Murray with a look what I found rebound underneath Sabonis. Edwards stands up beautifully to him. You saw Edwards prepare to receive that blow, and Sabonis bricks that jumper. It's Sabonis, another one of these guys. Oh, he worked on the jumper. They empowered him in the preseason to take it, and we'll see if you actually make it this year, buddy. Edwards directing traffic, but they're too late now for the 2-for-1. Reed was open, sweeping out of there. He didn't look to him. Now he fires the 3 in and out and over the top of the backboard. Another example, I would say, of Edwards passing not being good enough. We saw a lot of those against the Lakers.
It's going to be a big point of growth for Edwards over the course of maybe not even just this year, probably the next 2 to 3 of can he start seeing those plays. It's not that they are there. He just needs to see them and then generate more of them.
Kings haven't scored in almost 4 minutes. Here's Fox. Goes left. No, into traffic, and nothing was there. Alexander Walker's defended him well. Edwards can run the clock down. They involve Len. Here's Edwards still working. That's the right pass to DiVincenzo, and he left it short. Kings don't have enough time. Fox, he doesn't buzzer clutch. I'll give him that. He actually hit the backboard. And I'm going to go and grab myself a little water as we look for at least one close game here down the end.
I could answer this question for the quick two. Would it be legal for the Clippers to make a trade with the Thunder where part of the return is that the Thunder agree to swap picks with the Rockets and not with them? In terms of legality, probably not. Like the idea is like, what would the return be in that trade? However, you can get into these really fuzzy situations because remember that the Thunder are under no obligation to anybody to swap picks with one team or the other. And in the case of the Thunder, there is a very credible argument that because they own more Clippers picks in the future, that what they should do is actually swap with the Clippers if the picks are reasonably close. So let's say for whatever reason, the Clippers have the 12th pick or something, the 12th pick or the 10th pick, and Houston has the 14th. No, obviously it's the opposite way. That you would still want to take the Clippers pick because then you move them back to 30. That makes it less likely that they will have stronger picks in the future. All that kind of stuff. It's a little bit of like a 4-dimensional chess move, but it also makes some sense just on weakening the team where you have an investment in their weakness. But in terms of legality, I don't think you can agree to that. The other one that I was thinking about, I don't know that it's ever been proven, is I think there was a discussion that something like that had happened with I think it was with there was the year that the Bobcats came into the league, but was like the idea of like a team not taking a player, but that nobody ever could confirm it. Oh, that's a good point from Zach. Agreed, but with something else to consider is would the Thunder want a future conference rival to add more high-level young prospects? That could be more true if the picks are, let's say they're both top 10. Like my thought had been that they probably wouldn't. They would probably both be more in the like late lottery range or maybe even one late lottery, one in the playoff range. But if it is, like the Thunder have the 6th pick or the 7th pick or something like, oh no, but that one's top 10 protected. So this all gets really complicated. We are back here in Sacramento.
And I'm back too.
Yay!
There's a nice, quick, no-dip 3. Left to right pass from Fox to Murray to open the scoring here in the 4th.
And Keegan Murray has the size to just drill that shot over done to DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo into the lane and finishes over Len. Len was held by the roll of Gobert and couldn't react quickly enough. Now Fox off the Len screen. Fox gets to his spot. Can't finish that. Yeah, we saw the Reed Randall group at the start of the second against LA, and that group got destroyed. Now they've got Conley and Gobert playing together. Reed on the step back, curls out. DeRozan is back. He'll try Alexander Walker. Goes right by him. Underneath Len. No. But they give the late call in favor of Len once he missed it. Yeah, Len, number 5 overall pick back in 2013. That star-crossed 2013 draft by Phoenix, and I wonder if I could name every team that Alex Len has played for. I'm gonna say no.
I couldn't.
All right, he played for the Wizards, obviously the Suns. Maybe it's not that many. He's been in Sacramento for a little bit now. But during the COVID years, he probably played for some teams that I just can't even think of right now. Gobert pitch back to Conley. Conley ducks behind the screen nicely, but that was well short from him. That's a shot that's important for him. Here's Murray on the attack. Gobert rotated over beautifully. Murray couldn't find Len underneath off of Gobert. Now DeRozan. Good defense by Reed. Gobert bothered him initially too. Now it has to be Fox. Gobert is there again. Fox has nothing. Reed strips it away. Gobert bothering the Fox jumper, and that was a beautiful defensive possession by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Len has also played for the Hawks and the Raptors.
Yeah, the Hawks I should have thought of. The Raptors is
seven games in the 2020/21 season.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, the Raptors weren't even watching their own games that year in Tampa, so I could be forgiven for not getting that one.
Now I'm trying to remember because he went from the Tampa Raptors to Washington. How that happened? Oh, he was waived because I was like, I don't remember a trade.
He was pretty much at the end. Reestablished his career in Sacramento. He's been a fine backup center for them. Edwards is going to return here. Only a 2-minute rest. Meanwhile, in Denver, OKC 92, Denver 75. DiVincenzo missing the 3. Kings looking to add to a 1-point lead. Len will screen off the ball. And that was Doug McDermott getting some tick for some reason. Why is he playing? DeRozan, and yeah, he's got the space against Reed. I think if you're Reed, you need to trust your ability to stay in front of him and give him a little more pressure. So they should be involving McDermott in every action. That's what they're going to do here through DiVincenzo. Edwards picks it up, but can't make an incisive pass. Now they get it on the short of the pick and roll, but it's stopped by Len. Murray in transition 3. Yes. Golden One Center going wild here as Sacramento back up 6.
Maybe it's because McDermott got beaten so badly on defense there that his offensive player got a false insecurity and then got blocked by Len.
Oh, that's why he's in. Love to see from Edwards. That is an and one, but just quick decision, quick attack. Make them stop you instead of just dribbling back and forth. Make a hard attack that they have to react to. So many of his moves are just kind of dribbling in place. Okay, I guess I'll just shoot over you. Go hard. Make them prove they can stop you and then play off of that.
Oh, and I'll try to remember. I think people were saying that it was useful to do time checks for these games. I don't know if that's still true on YouTube. I'll try to do that.
Yeah, this one is way behind.
Yeah. 8:46, 45, 44.
Randall is returned. Gobert getting a rest. DeRozan has Reed. Creates the space, and there Reed has fouled him. Again, it's just, if you get separation from DeRozan's body, and that's a little tougher because they're switching, but once you've given him space, he gets a lot of lift on his jumper, and if you're going to try to contest it, you're going to either be vulnerable to the pump fake, or you're going to jump forward towards him recklessly and commit a foul. Yeah, now 96-78 in Denver. I think we can probably mail that one in with 6:26 remaining.
DeMar DeRozan, 21 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 6 of 10 on twos, 0 of 2 from 3.
Yeah, the free throw line is where he's profited the most. DiVincenzo guarded by McDermott. Now here's Edwards coming off the screen. I like that action there. Another just quick decision from Anthony Edwards. Fox trying to get to his left. DiVincenzo got over it. They're trying to get McDermott open going to his left. He's much better going right. And here's Fox. He's stopped by Reed. He's out of control. Edwards looking to fill space on the right side of the floor. Attacking Huff. He had, again, Reed is wide open back there. He just pitched it back to him. He's got a wide open three. Just didn't give him the ball. Edwards going to try again. Fox got elbowed. No call. Out to Reed. Three-pointer is good. And just like that, the Wolves have retaken the lead.
And Naz Reid, such a fast release now, and that's an awkward limp from De'Aaron Fox there.
Yeah,
I didn't see.
He must have sprained his ankle.
I didn't see what happened here.
Let's see here. Oh no, he got kneed on
the
inside of the left knee, which does not feel very good. Should be able to continue, I think. This is a good one for the podcast tonight. Thoughts on the Clipper lawsuit? We will surely talk about that, at least to some degree.
We don't have the actual court documents yet, right?
No, the complaint is out there.
Oh, the complaint's out. I haven't seen it yet.
It has been filed. Yeah, catch y'all up on what's going on in this one. Julius Randle has dominated offensively, 29 points, 11 of 14, 5 of 6 from 3. And Naz Reid having a nice bounce back with 17 points, 4 of 7.
Low turnover game for Sacramento, 9 in total, only 3 of those live ball. That is a turnover rate of 10.7%. That is on the very low side. And this has been an extremely low offensive rebounding game. Only 9 individually credited offensive rebounds for both teams combined.
Yeah, now one thing, Sacramento not getting up nearly as many threes. You expected that maybe with the addition of DeRozan. They're 10 of 26. Wolves are 19 of 44. So they have succeeded in getting more threes up. And DiVincenzo has helped with that, although he's 0 for 4 from 3 in this one.
Edwards, 5 of 13. Randall, 5 of 6. Naz Reid, 4 of 7. And this lineup is even more confounding. So it's Len, Fox, Murray, DeRozan, and McDermott. When you consider that Monk, Ellis, and Herter are all not on the floor right now, and at least one of those guys is not going to close either.
I mean, this is a message that Mike Braun is sending, I would imagine, and you think that there's got to be something going on here with his dissatisfaction to have started Herter and then also now to be playing McDermott at shooting guard. He's got Sasha Vezenkov's old number 7. I had no idea who it was at first. I was like, Vezenkov got traded, right? So Minnesota back up now. Sabonis against Reed, trying to hand off to DeRozan from a good position. DeRozan pulls it over McDaniels, who just returned, and that was a good contest with his length. I like McDaniels matching up against DeRozan. Here's Edwards, another quick attack. He's been more aggressive here in the fourth. Some profit, some not. Monk has returned. They still are going with McDermott, though. This is another kind of weird lineup. And DeRozan's second attack against McDaniels doesn't work. Here's Edwards. Again, he's got DiVincenzo open. Doesn't pass it to him. Blows to the rim instead. And McDermott, no hope to stop him there. So
it doesn't even really matter who the him is in that sentence, but it's especially important if it's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Doug McDermott, even in his younger days, wasn't exactly a playmaking force defensively. It would depend how you decided to measure it, but I've looked at it before, and basically McDermott has the lowest combined rates of blocks and steals of all time. Now Monk wants to get to that right hand. They go under, so he fires the three. 0 pass possession effectively for Sacramento there. Edwards has the size advantage. He really needs to bludgeon him here. Just shoots over him instead, and it misses. McDaniels got free along the baseline, but couldn't corral the rebound. Again, that's another one where I want him to get a better shot or force help. If you're that good and you've got Malik Monk in the post, it should result in something better than a tough fadeaway, because he's not a DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant level of mid-range shooter. That's like, that shot should be a last resort for him. Like, he's got great post position. You got shooters around you. Make them guard you. Fox taking forever to pick it up. They'll have a full 24 to work with in the front court. Out of the corner, it's DeRozan. DeRozan on the attack. McDaniels just stuffed him and then hit it off the chest of DeRozan. And Jaden McDaniels has completely swallowed up DeRozan 3 possessions in a row. Look at this.
I loved how McDaniels trusted his length here. He didn't try to necessarily get into DeRozan's body. He's just like, okay, I'm close enough. I will be able to contest this shot well. And then he blocks it off of DeRozan.
DiVincenzo now will attack and pick and roll with Randall. DiVincenzo underneath, fed Randall. Randall taking his time, and he's able to finish easily against Sabonis.
I think Sabonis didn't expect him to go back to his right hand or to his left hand, which is what Julius Randle likes to do.
McDaniels again bottling up DeRozan. Oh, and they bailed him out. An unnecessary reach, but DeRozan just didn't have it there. We'll see. I don't know what the challenge situation is.
I can look that up.
Yeah, meanwhile, OKC still up 18 with 4 minutes left. That game is over.
Sacramento has a challenge available. Minnesota does not.
Okay.
According to the official box. Both teams have committed 3 team fouls at this point.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan in his Sacramento debut, now 11 of 13 from the foul line, only 6 of 15 from the field. And I mean, it has been interesting. Like, they're going to have to find a balance between how much they give Sabonis the ball. Like, Sabonis, I think, could be doing some stuff in the post against this group. Looks like a zone now from Sacramento off the free throw. Edwards. Bad pass to DiVincenzo.
And he tried to put some heat on that for no particular reason. It wasn't like the velocity was making DiVincenzo get an opening. It was just like, I want to throw this pass hard.
Now Fox going to his right. Sabonis down the lane. Yeah, Sabonis. I mean, this is interesting, though. Sabonis has 1 assist tonight. Now it's Reed. He'll go right over Sabonis. And so who will Gobert replace? After that dunk, they went back to him. DiVincenzo bothered Fox. Fox almost threw it away. Now Monk, guarded by Edwards. Not an advantage matchup. Edwards, oh, I can't believe they called that foul. That is a weak-ass call.
Oh, they're showing the dunk instead.
So this is the first year of that Sabonis extension, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Here's Sabonis trying to go at Gobert. Gobert all over that right shoulder. Sabonis fading away, and that was a lucky finish there. It hit off the heel.
And I believe that you're correct. 451, 50, 449.
Back to the zone here. Wolves need to fill the corners against this zone. Now Gobert, Randall in an interesting mid-range spot. Back to DiVincenzo. Quick release three by DiVincenzo. Randall, again, he just has such a good understanding, particularly with his teammate in New York, DiVincenzo, of where to get guys open for threes. Even when it doesn't look like Randall has the biggest advantage, here's Monk, cut off. Sabonis will fire the three. They need it, and they got it.
He's empowered, Nate.
That would be huge if he could make that shot and is told to take it every time. We'll see how long that lasts, but that was a big one. Edwards looking a little tired now, gets off the ball. Randall against the zone. DiVincenzo again, another beautiful setup by Randall. That one missed. Tipped by Edwards. DeRozan has it. This is going to be a great finish here, I think. Edwards going under on Monk, re-screen, getting to the right hand. McDaniels helping off of DeRozan. Monk missed it. The five best players for Sacramento, and Finch will use one of his two use it or lose it timeouts here prior to 3 minutes.
And the other thing where Sabonis can benefit, if he gets to the point where that becomes more credible, is the spacing and the response that could provide. Because if he can get guys to step out, then that opens up some drive game for him.
Yeah, well, particularly now that you have DeRozan, he's going to be out there on the perimeter a little bit more. But yeah, it is going to be a balance, I think, for Sacramento. Like De'Aaron Fox is 6 of 13 for 15 points. He does have 11 assists. And Sabonis has 1 assist. And he's now 8 of 13. He's made a couple of shots. He's made his last 3, in fact, to get up to 23 points. But the other thing for the Kings, and this is actually not a great sign for Minnesota, because they were really forced a lot of turnovers last year. Only 9 turnovers, and the Lakers only had, I think it was 7, which is fewer than any Minnesota opponent had in any game last year.
Karl-Anthony Towns, Defensive Player of the Year. Opportunity still on the table.
Yeah, Robbie with a good point, and I agree, is that Julius Randle passes against pressure so much better than Karl-Anthony Towns. And I also think that Julius Randle is a little better attacking mismatches than Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl, of course, is the better shooter, but for a team that I think needs more passing and play, like Randle may be their best passer outside of Conley. He surely is, in fact.
I love how much evaluation and reevaluation there is going to be of that trade. And it's not even just the two bigs. I mean, you and I are going to be obsessed with Dante DiVincenzo as part of this whole thing the whole time.
Well, and Karl-Anthony Towns making $61 million 4 seasons from now, right? Like, this is when you say there's going to be a lot of evaluation, reevaluation. Like the Gobert trade was like that, obviously, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Julius Randle extension, what number does he come in at? Is that next contract with Minnesota? Like, all of those are going to be huge factors in it too.
That's not very good defense on this highlight. It's interesting. Yeah, so that's what the broadcast is saying, is that Chris Finch told him he was deferring too much in that first game. I kind of agree with that. But like, I mean, they honestly, like, these first 2 games, I think they've gotten better shots for the offense as a whole when it's been run through Randle than Edwards.
Yep, I agree.
Now, like, Edwards surely is a more robust scorer in terms of like being able to beat better defenders than Randle is. So what are we looking for here down the end of this one?
How does Sacramento's defense hold up? They made the change, bringing in DeMar DeRozan in the closing lineup, and then, as you put it earlier in the game, who touches the ball for Sacramento? Like, what is the distribution here of possessions? What do the possessions look like?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they're going to go through DeRozan, in part because even if you want to say Fox or Monk are better than DeRozan, DeRozan gets to have Fox and Monk space the floor for him, while they get to have DeRozan space the floor for them. So that probably makes it a good idea to go to DeRozan. Now, if DeRozan has McDaniels on him, that changes the calculation. But I think those guys interacting try to cause a little bit of confusion and then attack out of that. Conley is back in as well. They've taken out DiVincenzo and have their starters in. Randall wants it against DeRozan. DeRozan guards power forwards at this point in his career. Randall's going to try and attack. Back to goal. Conley is coming over. Randall goes through DeRozan. What a finish there by Randall. He twisted back over his left shoulder. 4-point lead. So now it's McDaniels on Fox. They've got Edwards guarding DeRozan. I would go opposite there. And Gobert is going to pick up a cheapie. This is going to be a free throws for Sabonis, I believe. And I'm not sure why Gobert needs to deny Sabonis the ball right there. I mean, you want to make everything harder, obviously. But yeah, he's got him wrapped up there with the left hand. But
he's like, but my right hand didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I'm not that worried about Sabonis scoring on Gobert. I know he did earlier, but that was a difficult shot that hit off the back rim. So Sabonis playing well here in his first game with DeMar DeRozan. First game wearing number 11, but missed that free throw. Still a 3-point game. Let's see if they go right back to the same action again. I think they may be. Yep, Randall here at the elbow. Randall, oh, yeah, I thought he had DeRozan beat on that spin. Now he'll bludgeon his way in. Had to get off the ball. And no, they said he landed, I guess. That was a travel.
I thought he released it, but I mean...
I can't see I saw that one. Is it the jump stop? Maybe the left foot came down. Yeah, maybe that's right. Usually, guys, that's a very tough call to make as a referee, to see both the ball and the foot at the same time. Screen for DeRozan to involve Conley. DeRozan getting downhill against Gobert. Accelerates. What a twisting finish that was. Incredible control by DeRozan, and he used the rim beautifully. 1-point game. Now Conley setting up McDaniels, wide open three. Can't get it. Monk is running the floor on the right. There it is. He'll take it at Randall, and he's fouled.
And great hustle there by Malik Monk. Just works his way down, and Randall not quite in position. He's not the greatest in those spots, and just kind of commits a hack instead of really contesting it.
Yeah, and Monk, he contested McDaniels in the corner and then just kept running. McDaniels was admiring his shot and didn't get back.
I'm glad they showed that finish again by DeRozan. That was super impressive. He kind of wrong-footed by going early. He wrong-footed Gobert and then still used the rim and the backboard to get it away from the shot blocker.
Offense, defense now for Finch, with Dante DiVincenzo replacing McDaniels. Monk makes that. We're tied at $112. Conley pressured by Fox. Edwards wants it against Murray. Gobert will set the screen. Edwards has 2 on the ball. Gets off of it. Randall going to go right into the lane. Shoves DeRozan back. Missed it. Tipped it back out. Conley. Randall. Oh, nice anticipation by Fox. Randall's still on the ball. They have time. It's frantic. Conley on the move. Fires a 3. That misses. Sabonis gets it to Fox's hand.
And Nate, one of the reasons why they might have done that sub is because they thought Sacramento would use it or lose it. They don't have it.
Here's DeRozan. Oh, wow. Great contest by DiVincenzo. Edwards working against Murray. Steps back and bangs it down. That is a long 2.
And this is often that stretch where there aren't stoppages because coaches don't want to burn a timeout.
This is going to be an exhausting stretch. DeRozan against Gobert. Good communication. DeRozan turns around, but he can't get that shot. Edwards going to try Fox here. Can they push it to a 2-possession lead late? This would be a huge one. Edwards, step back. No, Wolves have not been able to get the threes other than that one from Edwards. And now it's transition for the Kings. Good job by DiVincenzo forcing Monk to the left. Now Monk goes right, though. That was bad defense, and they're going to give up the and one. I don't know why he suddenly just let him get to his right hand. There was no help that way.
Yeah, and Gobert didn't have. I mean, it was so fast. Gobert didn't respond in time. Malik Monk, part of the reason he got the end one there. He's stepping up, and then Monk is gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's now, is that on Gobert because they're trying to force him towards the baseline? I'm not sure what the scheme is there, but I think you would want to force him left and make him use the screen. Sacramento up one. A terrible foul there on the end one. Here's Edwards on the attack. Steps in, tried to kick it out. Gobert has it. No, pass it out, please, Rudy. Instead, a terrible foul by Sabonis.
I mean, you're giving up a shot that you will live with every single time, and you don't need to throw your arm up there.
That is just, I mean, I think Gobert is trying to go through his arm, and credit Rudy for feeling that contact from Sabonis. That is there, but I mean, it's an obvious foul.
Rudy Gobert is taking a 10-foot floater. Congratulations, you won as a defense.
And Gobert does hit that free throw to tie it at 115. Sacramento should take a timeout here, in my opinion, to set up a 2-for-1, no matter what happens with this free throw. But in particular, you got to get a 2-for-1 here, regardless.
No matter what.
Gobert not involved in the offense today, but he can give Minnesota the lead here. No, it misses. DeRozan has it. They don't take the timeout. And they're only going to get one possession almost surely. Fox is going to try to get it faster. He takes the open one, misses. McDaniels can't get it, and it'll be Minnesota ball.
I would love to see this again. I do think it's Minnesota ball. I think Fox touched it.
They have a challenge, and with only a 1.7 differential, I'm not sure who actually called this timeout. But
let's see if I can find it in the notes. It is a challenge.
Okay. Yeah, so, but this will be interesting because if Sacramento gets the ball, they'll only have 14. So Minnesota would get another chance. If Minnesota gets the ball, there's only a 1.7 differential. They should be able to run the time down. And I'm very interested to see if Mike Brown, and we'll see whose ball it is first off, but would Mike Brown double Anthony Edwards, get it out of his hand, and also try to force Minnesota to shoot earlier? And I think Minnesota has an advantage now. They can go read, take out Gobert. This is a very difficult lineup for Sacramento to stop. All right, let's take a look here. So does Fox tip it? Looks like he gives it the momentum. Did McDaniels, was he potentially still touching it with his right hand there? We don't have enough definition to tell on this.
And I think we would need a different angle.
Here we go. This will show us. Yes, it is Fox who hits it, as far as I could tell from that angle. Unless there's something we're not seeing. Yes, I think McDaniels reaches for it and just doesn't touch it.
And misses it. I'll try, if they show it again at that exact angle, I would try to watch the spin from between the touches, but
yeah, unsuccessful challenge. So yeah, now the strategy is going to be fascinating here. Who are they going to go with defensively? Would they go to Keon Ellis, get him in the game? And they're you've got DeRozan guarding Randall, and they also reset the clock here. So a 2-second differential now. And for Minnesota, you want to shoot a long jumper here just to use up more time.
To make sure it's the last shot of regulation.
Yeah. Or the last effective shot of regulation. If you release it at the shot clock buzzer, you should be able to get that last 2 seconds to run off afterwards, as long as you hit the rim. So it'll be Murray guarding Edwards. And does Mike Brown double team and try to speed them up, or just get the ball out of Edwards' hands? They're going to double him early. And what is that inbound? Where is he going with that? They have 2 timeouts left. I don't understand. Why wouldn't they advance the ball? All right, they do get it in, and no pressure now. Where are they going to double team? Who do they want to involve? It looks like DeRozan. Reed running around behind the play with DeRozan. Sabonis is on Randall. Edwards is going to drill the yard of balls. Fox is creeping up. Here is the double. Gets it to Conley. Back to Edwards. 4 to shoot. Edwards getting past Murray, and he's fouled. Sabonis fouled him. Great work there by Edwards and the Wolves. And I think I want to say that the Wolves were prepared for that double team, that the plan was to throw it to Conley and then just give it right back to Edwards. That's what they executed. He blows by Murray. Sabonis fouls him. The Kings have used their challenge.
And also, he clearly fouled him.
So Edwards now with 2.4 left. The one benefit for Sacramento is the clock stops.
And they have a timeout to advance it.
They have a timeout. So now if Edwards misses this, they'll have to get the rebound. They're going to bring in Alex Len. Surely a timeout coming here for Sacramento, make or miss.
And if you're Minnesota and he misses this, just hit the ball in the air. Yeah. You don't have to grab it. All you have to do is hit it.
Edwards hits that one, and a timeout coming. Anthony Edwards has had a nice end to this game. I loved the way that he and Minnesota executed that against the double team by Mike Brown.
Nate, how confident would you have to be? Because with 2 seconds left, if you miss that shot and you hit the ball in the air, you're pretty likely that the game is going to run out before somebody can really get control of it and call it.
Well, I mean, if you could grab the ball, you just grab it and then you shoot free throws and you can win the game that way.
But what I'm saying is, like, how confident would you have to be that strategy would work for you to, like, maybe even consider trying to miss the free throw on purpose?
Yeah, I think it occurred to me because you're like, well, with 2 seconds left, aren't they going to shoot at 3 anyway? So what's the difference between 1 or 2? But I think if there was like 1 second left, I think you would consider missing the free throw. With 2 left, you want to be up. You want to force them to, you're not forcing them to do anything, but at least if they score at 2, you go into overtime that way. And you also just don't have to worry as much about like preventing something at the rim. All right, so they're going to run guys out of the backcourt here. The inbounder will be, it looks like DeRozan. Who are they going to set this for? Maybe it's going to be Fox. I think it's going to be Fox coming to the ball. Here it is. Yeah, he curls around. He's on the move. They can't get it to him. Now they get it to Murray. He's way out there. Edwards with a beautiful reaction, and it's still almost hit. Oh, that was great defense by Minnesota. Murray almost won the game anyway, but instead, the first game for DeMar DeRozan as a King ends in defeat. That was an amazing reaction by Edwards, and he still somehow almost made it.
Yeah, it would have been a double clutch 3 to win the game.
I thought Fox was actually open, and Minnesota did a good job of kind of shading that way to take away the first pass on the inbounder. So, all right, this is fun. We're going to regroup and do our pod momentarily here. But that was a fun one. I'm glad we switched to that one instead of Denver and OKC. So talk to y'all in a little bit on Dunked on Prime.